Well, I already got almonds coming up here. Yeah, I think the first time I came through here was February 24th or something. Trees are starting to show some babies. These are almonds. Life. You gotta love life. I love life. There was a time when I wanted to give up. When I had no hope, no love, no support. No one that believed. And I just didn't know why to hang on. Just couldn't find many reasons. But God, somehow, through it all, said, there's a purpose, man, if you want it. Got a torch for you if you want to take it and relight it. Yeah. And at first, when you're coming back from the grave, you're kind of just thinking, oh, it's just good to be alive. It's just for me. It's just for survival. Bo, stay close. Girly, stay close. And as you start to catch your breath, start to get a few meals back in you, start making contact with a few people here and there, see that you're not alone, that you look around and there's other people crawling out of the grave, trying to heal from their wounds, their scars, their abandonment, their rejection, their infiltration of the disease. You know, I think something that's bigger than the circus virus that's going around right now. Yeah, I named it that, circus virus. If you know what the term bread and circus means, you'll understand the term circus virus. But anyway, there's a bigger virus that's going around, really, if you think about it, and it's globalism. And I feel for those people. I mean, I know so many people. They're so beautiful people. They're loving people. They're moral people. They just want what's right. They want to take a stand. They want to believe in a cause. They want to invest their time, their energy, their life. I mean, think about it. You give your attention to what you care for, what you love. And that's it. You only get a certain amount of time. So what do we invest in our time in? You know, I know so many people that, like I said, they're beautiful people, relatives and friends, and man, they're in that. They're fighting for the T-man. They're fighting for one side or the other of the spectrum as far as the Dems and the Republicans, you know, and they're very adamant, very loyal supporters, and some people give money and they give their time to these causes and they donate their business resources to make these causes happen. And that's such a beautiful thing, and I honor that, I admire that. But I hate to say it, and no offense intended, those people that I know, they're political prisoners. They're political prisoners. In that, there is so much more going on behind the scenes. Like I said, the infection, the virus that we should worry about is globalism. And it's happening. If you know, beautiful site right there. I'll give somebody a plug on their bee thing. If you know about Agenda 21, if you know about Agenda 2030, and I believe there's Agenda 2050, there's plans set in order. There's laws that are being passed. There's legislation and government funding that are going on to make sure this happens behind the scenes. And it's sad. I see even a lot of YouTubers and truthers, and they're standing up. And, you know, the thing is, though, on all these people, to me, when they say your government is against you, your government is allowing this, your government, and to me, it's like they're directing you to the lowest rung of this global takeover. The politicians are the puppets on the lowest rung. And all these truthers and all these people that are, they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you, hey, this is happening, this is bad. And they're taking away your freedoms or your liberties, or they're going to take away your guns. And it's the government. And you know, you better be careful if they don't tell you about Agenda 21. If they don't go back and tell you the real story, the real behind the scenes. Come here, dogs, I want to take a picture. Bo. Bear. Right there. Sit down, sit down. Seat. Good. Bear, that's perfect. You just stand there. Isn't that beautiful? Stay. That's a shot and a half. But anyway, they're telling you, yeah, something's wrong. But here's who's doing it. And that concerns me, because if you know about the Bolivarian Illuminati, they came over, I think, even like 2 months before we supposedly established independence. So you got to know, anything God does, there's a counterfeit. The devil has a counterfeit. It's something that looks the same, but it's totally the opposite. And so when he came over, they had plans. There was a protocol, a manifesto of what these people wanted to do in America or around the world. And that was to destroy all local governments. And it's sad because we are being used as tools. We're being fed the truth. Pastor Hood used to say that, son, the devil will lie to you with the truth. And we are being fed this information, but yet the way in which we're directed to find the answers or to solve the problem or to put our energy and our efforts and our time and our attention is into our government. And to me, that's a setup, man. They're turning you on if the government was right, if it wasn't corrupt, it would work. It would help people. If it was serving the people, it would be a good thing. It would benefit all of us. But the globalists get those leaders in there, throw a few little kids out with them to play with in a room with, or an island with hidden cameras. And they say, okay, we're going to make you a leader now. Oh, but by the way, come here, we got to show you something. While you were in there jacking around with whatever you did back then, we got pictures, we got audio, we got video. So you go on and you go about your position, and you just play the card. You just play your role, and we're going to tell you what to say. And if you don't, there'll be consequences. And if you step out of the box, we might even pull a fake assassination like we did on Ronnie. Ronnie lined right back up. Hey, so many people think Ronnie Reagan was awesome. I used to think he was awesome. But think of this, folks. Keep this in the back of your mind. Ronald Reagan and Mr. T were actors. Whoa. Okay, anyway. So Ronald Reagan had executive orders. He did. I thought he was the man. Hey, and I'm not hating. Man, it was through humility. It was through pain. It was through suffering. A freaking drunk attacked me and jacked up my spine, and I have nerve issues, and it laid me up. It laid me down. It took away everything. I not only went through this physical pain, I went through this emotional, psychological pain of my life will never be the same. I'll never be able to go out in the outfield and dive for a ball over my shoulder. You know? I'll never be able to hit a home run again. Or I'll never be able to teach other people the things that I used to do. Maybe that'll come someday. But anyway, it was through this process of losing everything and being broken and being humbled and being helpless that you find that where your hope is, and you find where real life is. And I started asking questions, and I started looking behind the curtain, and I started saying, wait a minute, all these people I trusted, they're not nowhere to be found now. Now I'm hurt, I'm going through it, I'm breaking down, I'm losing it, and they're running from me. So I woke up and was like, well, if I can't trust them, who can I trust? I can trust myself. So that's when I started looking into all this stuff and just researching, reading. There's documents, there's so much out there, and people are so afraid of the internet. They want pretty faces to tell them what is real and tell them what is true. And I found some things that blew my mind. I don't know if you remember the whole Bundy fiasco and what was going on there, and the BLM stealing their cattle and all kinds of crazy stuff, and it was just wow. And then I watched Lavoy Finnegan take one man as he caught out of the truck with his hands up, and all that stuff was going on. I was thinking, what is going on? Well, through that, Pete Santilli was down there live, and he was talking about the Smith-Munn Act. And I was like, what's that? I never heard of that. You throw out stupid names at me. I'm already educated on the ways of the world and America, and my belief system's pretty well set. So what are you talking about the Smith-Munn for? So I looked into it. And if you look into it, let me give you a brief as far as what I know. It was established, I believe, in the 40s or 50s, that they passed a law saying that we could not disseminate, we could not propagandize the American people. But now we could tell anybody around the world about what we want to say to them, about what's going on in our country, what is happening, who our leaders are, who is this, who's that, anything. We had legal right under Smith-Munn to lie to these outside peoples. But we couldn't lie to the American people. But then in 2012, in the middle of the night, going into New Year's in 2013, somewhere in that area, Obama redacted it, I believe, is what they call. In the National Defense Authorization Act was passed, or excuse me, it was amended, or however they say, updated. And in that act, it said now we can disseminate information to the American people. Now, if you go on Google and you go looking for stuff, they're going to bury everything. And they're only going to put people up there, they're going to blow smoke up your butt because of the Smith-Munn Act. All media, newspapers, radio, they are under an agenda of globalists, of Agenda 21, of sustainable living. And they don't want you using their parks. They don't want you swimming in their rivers and oceans. You are classified as useless eaters. You got to individually know some of these things, man. It could save your soul. So under the the National Defense Authorization Act, it also was said that if a person is anti-government or says anything not supporting the global agenda, but if you speak against the pawns that are running it, you could be deemed as a terrorist, and you could be locked up until the threat is deemed, until it's, until they say the threat is over. So here we are, and we're trying to share truth, and we're trying to talk to each other and share ideas and wake each other up as far as what is really going on in the world we live in. And there are algorithms, there are data collection agencies and bots and AI working behind all of this. Everything that's posted, everywhere you go, everything you do, there's a data file. Someone said there's 10,000 data points on anybody that has a cell phone. If you're of voting age, you have a cell phone, you have a record. Everywhere you went, everywhere you clicked, everything, every purchase you made, every transaction you made, anything you've done in the vicinity of this phone is known, is stored. And that's a fact. And so us, even right now, through voicing our opinions, through what's happening in the world and who started this and where the virus came from and what circus tent made it and da 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 and China's doing this and they're our enemy and da 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 da. Well, listen, you if we're so afraid of China, then why did our leaders, why did our businesses, why did our corporations allow each and every American to have a device that's made by China? And you don't think they know about technology and backdoors? And here we have a global positioning system in our hands, in our pockets, in our purse, in our cars, that tells you everywhere you went, how long you were there, what you did. It's a video and audio recording, still picture device that can be manipulated and operated, even when it's off. It is a data collection device. It is a radiation emitting device. If you don't know about that, check out the documentary called Taking Back Your Power. And here we are walking around with this thing 24/7. They scared us to death with the fact that they're going to put a chip in you and the beast system is coming. They didn't have to. They sold it to you. They sold it to you. A foreign enemy. And we're carrying around and living and dependent on these devices. Are you seeing this? I mean, I'm sure I left out a lot of things what you can do. And we're going to a whole nother level of 5G technology with the 5G. That there's just so much happening behind the scenes. That we don't even really consider or know about. And that's my heart, is to get people to think for themselves. You think that TV's telling you the truth? That pretty girl smiling at you, that dude in that suit. Oh, he's handsome. Oh, he's handsome. He wouldn't lie to me. We are operating under Smith Month, folks. I gotta get a shot of those clouds. Somehow, somewhere. It's beautiful. Oh, I just appreciate that. I wish I could paint like that. Don't you? I gotta learn how to do that. I get all abstract and whatever. I don't like painting realism. Realism sucks. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, so here we are, told that there's some, foreign enemy, and we carry around these devices that they created. And like I said, there's so many things that can happen with this phone. I think there's something surveillance system called Sidewinder that law enforcement has, that they can just, you drive by, everything. Your phone's boop, your phone's plugged in. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story. But today, like I said, I'm seeing some things happening that concern me. I'll take you back, talking about when I started listening to that little voice in my heart. Hey, Bo, Bear. That's it. Stay close. Come. Good. When I started waking up and seeing things, man, a friend of mine, Todd Armstrong, and I don't even know what happened to him. If you know, man, give me a shout out. Let me know what happened to the brother. But he started getting deep. He started getting behind the curtain and looking into things. And he was telling me about how, the symbolism in the Matrix. And, I watched it with him, and I didn't really get it, but when I was going down the hall, going to go to the bathroom, he was at his girl's house, and I heard this after watching that, and it didn't even really make sense at the time, but I heard a voice say, they're going to merge man with machine. And I just went, and it was one of those things where, like, that voice, that intuition, that wisdom speaks to you, and you know it's right. You know it's true. You don't even know where it came from. You don't even know what it means at the time. But you know that's a truth that you must investigate. And so I did as time went on, and I started learning. I didn't even know about transhumanism then. And, you know, this merging with machines, we were fed it as a kid in the 70s with Steve Austin, the $6 billion man. And that was like, oh, that's cool. Boom, that generation got hit. You know what I'm saying? And now it's all over. It's everywhere. How much benefit will that be to be able to think faster, run faster, you know, whatever, hold more memory? And with the whole Elon Musk thing with the Neuralink satellites, bro, I seen them one night. I started calling people. They probably thought I was nuts. I seen them all in a chain. They kept coming. There was like 40 of them, I think, that night. Me and my buddy sat out here and just started watching them, and they were like, it was amazing. They weren't going in a straight line either. They were like in a big S across the sky. And now there's 250 of them. And who knows what's behind that game plan, but I'm just telling you, the topic here and behind the scenes of all this virus and everything that's going on is something called transhumanism. And it's a globalist agenda. To me, you want to go back further? Think of this. It's demonic, bro. Where is God on this planet? Oh, you people say, oh, he's in the tree. He's in the dogs. He's in everywhere. No, where is the temple of the Most High? What'd Jesus say? The kingdom of heaven is within you. It's within you. Now, if I was the devil and I wanted to take over and I wanted to win and get man's control, how would I do it? Well, first of all, I got to get rid of that spirit within him, because that's the Christ spirit. That's the Christ consciousness. That's the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. That's the great spirit, the creator spirit dwells in that being. How am I going to get rid of that? Well, slowly I'm going to take parts off that being and replace it with things. Pretty soon, he won't even be human no more. And once that's done, once we've taken away his humanity, the soul can't, the spirit won't reside in there. God can't, the creator spirit can't reside in this synthetic creation. It's not what it's about. So, if you don't know or haven't heard about transhumanism, you will. You will. And it all can start subtly. They can do things with nanotechnology, and I believe there's something called antecedent drugs, which affect the RNA and different things. But this could be, all of this is taking steps to that transhumanism, to that globalism, to that, whatever. So I see behind it something pretty wicked. I see it a plan of the fallen one to take over the only beings that still have free will. The only beings that, even though we sold them $1 billion of marketing on a brand called OBE, well, the last one, and it went all over, but still, there's some holdouts. We can't get all of them. So, we're going to have to get something inside of them to change who they are. Well, maybe we'll just make them all sick and say they have to take the VACs. And in the VACs, we'll put something in there. This third strand stuff, DNA stuff. And it'll change who they are from the inside out. They won't even think the same. They won't even be the same. On the outside, they'll look the same, but on the inside, will erode their free will, their ability to critically think and to think for themselves. they'll become the hive. They'll become one. And then they will follow without reservations. And if they don't, we'll just keep building robots that will. And if they want to exist, they'll sell their souls to get what life they can here on this planet. What an illusion, folks. What an illusion. The carnival is in town. The barkers are going for it. This is their last call. They're trying to sell you something, folks. They're trying to take something from you that is so valuable, so priceless, so eternal. Oh, man. Yeah, I know. I hear you. What the fire are you talking about? Well, I ain't talking about nothing. I'm talking about us individually again. Finding time. Tuning it all out. Knowing about Smith Month and what they're telling you. And saying, hey, maybe I should kind of think for myself. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're all set up. I seen it years ago when I started asking questions. Even in the church, man, I started asking questions. They were like, whoa, why are you talking like that? Why are you asking those questions? You better sit down in your seat and you be good, or we're going to shun you. You're not going to be, it's like Bob in the sheep pen. And Bob says, hey, look outside the gate. There's some fresh pasture out there. And all the other sheep, Bob, no, Bob. What's the matter with you? Everything's comfortable in here. We're protected. We're guarded. Look, the wolves can't get us. There's big bad wolves out there, Bob. Don't go out there, Bob. No, we're going to go back to our feeding trough, and we're just going to suck up the nourishment that we get here inside this pen. Yeah, Bob's crazy. Bob is crazy. Tell everybody. Bob is crazy. Bob's crazy. Bob's thinking of crazy thoughts. We got to stay away from Bob. What? Bob went outside the pen. Let's go see. Where'd he go? He went in that big clump of bushes over there. What's he doing? He's eating bushes. I don't know. That's a Bill Cosby line. From one of his jokes. And you see, even though Bob maybe ventured out, he left all of his comfort. He left all of his support system. He left even those maybe he trusted, that he thought believed in him. But Bob went out and found some fresh pasture. Bob went out and found a new way of looking at life outside the pen. And Bob went back and said, hey, you guys, check it out. Come out here with me, man. I found some new grazing. There's some freedom out here, freedom of thought, freedom of expression. Come on, and there's more people out there. Come on. Bob, you're crazy. There's nothing out there. No, it is. It's right over that hill right there. Watch, I'll show you. I got the map. Here, I'll even give you the map. You can meet me out there later. Here's the map. And as Bob hands them the map, they start eating it. Bob says, hey, you know what? I really love you guys, man, and I wouldn't have came back if it wasn't for you. But I care about you. And there's something out there that you got to see. You got to come with me. This isn't good here in the pen. It's false security. It's false comfort. They said, Bob, I don't even know what you're talking about. I've never heard nothing like that. We have never been taught that. That is unpatriotic to talk that way, Bob. You need to go. Yeah, Bob, you need to go. So Bob leaves. Bob leaves and goes back over the ridge. They all stand at the edge of the pen and they watch Bob go. They see, yeah, Bob's crazy. Bob's done. There's nothing out there over that hill. Come on, guys, let's go back and go in front of the TV again.